In this video, I'm going to take this photo and transform it into one of my favorite photos from Cadiz, Spain, using a variety of tools from Lightroom.
If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jason Yoder. I'm an Arizona-based photographer who enjoys capturing the world through the lens of my camera. I hope you find this channel entertaining and inspiring as I take you with me on my photography journey. Subscribe to my channel to enjoy more videos like this.
Let's discover where our photo came from. With its shimmering coastline, whitewashed buildings, and vibrant streets steeped in history, Cadiz is a place where ancient Phoenician roots meets Andalusian charm. From golden beaches and dramatic seawalls to lively plazas and centuries-old cathedrals, this sun-soaked city offers endless inspiration for photographers and storytellers. I can't express enough how important it is for you to be shooting in the RAW format. The JPEG format only contains a tiny fraction of the information that your camera is able to capture, whereas the RAW format contains everything. And because it contains so much information, we have a lot more to work with in Lightroom. Special announcement: on July 12, 2025, I'm partnering with Alan Lacey, host of the YouTube channel Filming the Wild, to have our first fan meetup in the field. To RSVP, head over to explorewithjason.com. Click on the fan meetup link, and then click on the Mingus Mountain meetup. If enough of you click the yes, put on a workshop option, we'll also be doing a mini workshop at 10 a.m. Okay, let's head over to Lightroom now. When I captured this photo, there are two things I was interested in. First of all, the streetlights. I wanted to make sure that I had a starburst effect going on the streetlights, which is why I have an f-stop at 22. I really had the aperture very, very tiny. And that also aided me in the second thing that I wanted, and that was to make sure that anybody who is in the photo was motion blurred, so we can get a feeling of movement throughout this image. A few things I want to accomplish in this photo is that I want to take the sky, which is kind of dull, and liven it up just a little bit. And then I also want to warm up the rest of this photo, particularly the lower half. Because of those yellow streetlights, I just feel that it needs to have a little bit of a warmer hue to it than the cooler colors that are being reflected down from the sky. So let's go ahead and get started. For the sky, I'm going to go ahead and let Adobe mask out the sky for me. I want to try and make it a bit more colorful, so let's see what we can do here. First of all, we're going to play around with the contrast just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and try to increase that contrast. And if I go too far, the pink hues are starting to look a little artificial, so I'm going to pull back a little bit here on the contrast. And let's go ahead and see if I can lower the blacks down just a little bit. There we go, to increase that contrast. And again, I'm trying to avoid having really fake looking colors in my sky. Next, I am going to mask out the ground. Now, to do that, I'm going to create a new mask. I'm going to go ahead and allow it to select the sky because I want the inverse of whatever is selected for the sky. So for this mask, I'm going to go ahead and invert it. And what you're going to see is it captures all of the rest of the image. Right now, I don't want to work with the trees, so I need to get them out of this mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an intersecting mask, and I'm going to use a brush. Now I'm going to turn my flow rate all the way up because I do want to make sure I'm capturing everything that I'm highlighting here. So I'm going to just kind of grab this area that's under the tree leaves. And because I'm doing an intersecting mask, it's only going to grab what has already been masked by the previous step. Now I'm going to turn off my feathering, and I'm going to increase the size just to make selecting the rest of this a little bit easier. All right, now we've got that bottom area selected. Let's warm it up just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the temperature, and I am going to give it just a little bit of a warmer tone. Now remember, you want to work with just settled movements of the slider bars. If you go too far, it's going to start looking a little fake. So I do want to brighten up the the ground just a little bit, but I don't want to lose contrast. I don't want to start developing a lot of grays and the blacks. So I'm going to take my whites, I'm going to slightly elevate them. That's going to help to brighten up the ground. And then my blacks, I'm going to drop them down. And that is going to allow me to keep those warmer colors, but keep good contrast. When I was last in Cadiz, I did not have lenses that are as good as what I have now. So if we zoom in here to where we have a light and dark difference, you're going to notice over to the left there's kind of a bluish tinge, and over on the right it's kind of a warmer tinge. Well, if we scroll down through here to the bottom, remove Chromatic Aberration, and that is going to help to remove those abstract colors. And then I'm also going to enable my profile corrections, because sometimes the images on these, especially these cheaper lenses, get a little warped. That helps to get rid of that. Now I'm going to zoom in on some of the starburst effect I've got going on, and I do see some color in the grain that I might want to address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give a little bit of luminance in the denoise area to soften things out just a tad, and then I'm going to slightly increase the color. Now I'm still going to have some there, but again I was able to eliminate some of those abstract pixels. And finally, I do want to do a little bit of a cropping. If we take a look over here, I can see some cars. I really don't like those. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little crop. Bring it in just a tad. So I no longer see those cars. Much, much better. Now I think I'm going to play around the sky just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back into my mask where I had my sky mask. And I'm going to duplicate that mask. And when I did, you might notice that the colors got a little bit more intense because I now have two masks at the same setting on top of each other. What I'm going to do here though is I'm going to lower my highlights down just a tad, and what you can see is that kind of intensified the colors. Now I'm a little concerned that the pink area is starting to look a little bit unnatural, so I'm going to pull back just a little bit. And also that'll help with some of those yellows. And we're good to go. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments.